Hey guys, we are back once again with another episode of Real Talk. And we are so excited because we have our nice little pile of questions here that we are going to grab one at a time and answer for you. So
yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you guys for being here. This is just going to be a fun, lighthearted episode. Hopefully maybe give you some inspiration. You can get to know us more. But of course, our DMs are always open. If you have other questions, make sure you like, you subscribe, follow us, Paige at Our Healing Spaces, me at A Strong Soul Wellness, both Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, that's where you'll find us.
We didn't decide who's going first.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna finagle these things a little bit. Let's see. Okay. I feel like a little stressed out by this.
We should have done like a blindfold.
Okay. This is a good one to start with. Best advice you've ever been given.
Oh, wait, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were picking our own question.
No, we both have to answer. We both have to answer. Well,
clearly.
We obviously did not clarify the rules of this.
Okay. Best advice I've ever been given. I did not have time to think of an answer for this because I just there's been so many things over the years, I feel like. And there's really a lot that I want to say. But probably the biggest one that's made the most difference recently in my life, and I don't know where it came from. I honestly don't know if it was something that it's probably something that I've heard over time, but it was I needed it at a specific time in order to absorb it. But it is, if there's something that you can't control, if you have no control over it physically, there's nothing you can do about it, it doesn't deserve to take up time in your mind. Yeah. So essentially, I would stress out in my own mind about things that I had no control over, or things that I thought could potentially happen, or maybe this person was going to say something about me if I took this action, and you don't have any control over that. I don't have any control over that. So if you cannot control something, don't let it take up space in your mind. And for me, that has been one of the most freeing ways of living. And it's something that I'm so thankful that I implement now. It's something that I have to continue to remind myself, but it truly can make such a difference, because if you can't control it, don't let it take up space in your mind.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That's beautiful. Good answer. Yeah, and mine would definitely be the one that, there's so many, but the one that really came up for me was that other people's opinions of you are none of your business. And I feel like living in a small town, coming from a big family, being well known, in our community, that has been such a profound lesson for me, because I did used to care so much about other people's perception of me that it would alter the way that I showed up in certain settings and around certain people. And it would affect my choices and the things that I did, the way that I spoke, the way I projected, whatever it was. What I wore, the way that I felt like I should look. And I don't remember, I know I've heard it from Glennon Doyle, she's one that's I think it was in her book, Untamed. And then I had a mentor that I worked with a couple years ago that I currently just started working with again, Elaine Bracken. That's something that she had said to me in the beginning of my therapeutic work. And it was just such it was a moment of permission. Hey, guess what? Other people's opinions of you are none of your business, and you don't have to hold them anymore. And it was wait, what? It's an option? Yeah. So yeah, that is definitely one of the most profound things that sticks with me, because even now I still catch myself wanting to follow that pattern. And so when I do that, I'm okay, nope. Their opinion of you is none of your business. Yeah. And to kind of tie into that, it's you are going to be the villain in some people's story. That feels like an aggressive term, but you can't control that kind of going in with yours. You can't control it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. No, I love that. And I feel like we could keep talking about that. That's not the point. But if you have young people, young women in your life, share that with them because it's important.
Very. I was just looking at you in the reflection. Yeah,
Because I'm, like, when I play games, I definitely cheat to win. So
okay, Annabelle.
Oh. What is the biggest regret you have in life?
You go first.
You have to. It's like,
damn it.
What did you do with yours? You didn't
I put it right here.
Okay.
Honestly, I really don't believe in regrets necessarily, because I feel like I'm not a believer in everything happens for a reason. I think that you can find reason in everything that happens. And so taking that into mind, like I look back at some of those moments that I felt significant amounts of shame or guilt. And I just I really try to see the lesson that came from those experiences. Now, that being said, I do, if I had to pick, what is something that I regret? I do regret the lack of love that I had for myself in my teen years and in my 20s, because I feel like I would have had a gentler experience if I would have offered a lot more and would have had a lot more love for myself and for who I am. But it's also part of the journey, it's part of that learning experience, and you can't always it's not, you don't attain humility and compassion and empathy and all of those things without going through those hard moments. So it's just kind of but yeah, if I had to pick one, I would say I do regret not loving myself more in those teens and 20s.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. For me, yeah, I think kind of in the work that we do, though it's different, but in the healing work, it's something that you want to tell people is, it's all part of the journey, not to have regrets. I am somebody with very strong love and hate emotions, so I do have regrets. But no, I am thankful for every lesson I have attained. I'm thankful for every single low, every valley, every, negative experience that I've had, because it has taken me on this really beautiful journey. And from that journey, I am able to work with women and help women on their journeys. With that being said, probably what I regret the most would be allowing certain people, specifically boys, not men, allowing people having access to my energy. And that's something that you kind of go through and you learn. I just wish I would have learned it earlier. I allowed people to take so much from me, and that's because I had a lack of love for myself, a lack of validation, but just giving certain people, not just boys, but certain people so much time and energy and love that I should not have given. Just giving people access to my heart, to my soul, to my body is something that I wish I would have learned sooner. And it just would have been, more gentle. And I think, especially for young girls, young women, we want love. We want to be loved. We want to receive love in the way that we show love. And I think sometimes we just give our energy to people that don't deserve it. And so I wish I would have known that. And I didn't, but that would probably be my biggest regret, is allowing people to have access to my energy field, because now I know how powerful and special it is. So, yeah, that's fine, but it's all okay.
I love that. Look at us just learning all this stuff from our experiences. Okay, so what we got? What is your guilty pleasure?
Is this for me?
But
I answer first. Okay. There's so many things.
Smut.
I mean, like, the first thing that pops in my head is Reese Cups, but that's, like, everybody knows that. I'm very open about that.
Yeah.
I love, this, like, feels like Miss Congeniality. What's your perfect date? I love a gloomy day. I want the rain to be hitting the window, a good book, whatever genre, smut,
Yeah.
not a self-development.
Yeah.
Not a self-development. Fantasy, romance, just some type of, maybe even, probably not action, but just a really solid book. It's gloomy out. And I will, like, literally put on my TV, like, on Netflix, you can put, like, the fireplace. And I will put that on my TV. And sometimes I'll just, like, set and put that on my TV and, like, lights on and just quiet. It's definitely, like, a time to myself, but I feel, and that's, like, not a crazy thing, but that's, like, that to me, that perfect little moment is, sounds so good.
Yeah. I can't say that I necessarily feel guilty about many.
I was going to say, I definitely don't feel guilty about that. So I don't know that there's, at this point, I don't know that I feel guilty about anything that I do for myself, honestly. So,
so playing along on that, mine would definitely, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I love to get into my bed, because I love to, like, read in my bed and get all nice and cozy and turn my little light on and have a cup of tea.
Oh, yeah.
But I eat popcorn in bed.
What is wrong with you?
If it's just me, I don't make a mess. Like, and my kids, like, I let my kids do it.
Not to interrupt you, but there is not a single person who does not make a mess when they eat popcorn.
So eating popcorn in my bed with a cup of hot tea, I do it so often. Like, when my kids are home, like, I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to have popcorn for dinner in my bed.
Oh, that's very cute, but...
I know, with my romance novel. So I guess that's, again, I don't feel guilty about it, but that is my little pleasure. It's like, I joke about saying it's my toxic trait. Like, what's your toxic trait? I eat popcorn in bed.
I mean, I agree. I just am, like, getting into bed thinking of crumbs in my bed. I would be so mad. But
I feel like I just, like, let me just sit it right here, hold my book, eat my popcorn.
I love it.
I'm a freaking mess.
I know, I love it. It's good.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I do.
So,
like, because
I would react that way.
Judge me. You'd be like, what are you doing?
If you could give a message to a past version of you, what would it be? Reading this out loud, I think we might have this choice. Because we both came up with some. But anyway.
Oh, that's okay.
It's fine. If you could give a message to a past version of you, what would it be?
I would look at the, like, probably, we'll do funny. I'll go funny on this. I would say, get your ass out of that tanning bed.
Yes.
Quit, like, stop. Ain't nobody got time for that. You
don't need to be orange.
Yeah. You look like an Oompa Loompa. What are you doing? Like, I just look back at pictures and I'm just like, why? And then you think about, like, the money. Like, I would go multiple times a week.
Yeah.
To go tan.
I'm, like, thinking about the health too.
Yeah.
But, like
your
also
skin.
the money, it's like $5 to $7 each time.
Yeah. Or, like, when you double dip and you tan and then you spray tan. What the? I will say, every single time I tan, my mom was like, what are you doing? Quit doing that. That just made me want to do it more.
So don't do that.
But yeah, so if I could go back and tell high school version of me to stay the freaking crap out of a tanning bed, that's what I would tell her.
I love that.
Stay the crap. And to tie into that on a serious note, embrace your body. Like, don't carry shame around your body or your looks, and don't put so much value into it.
Yeah.
Like, your shell is not your value. And I just read a book about being body neutral. And so it's like, not every day I love my body, not every day I hate my body, but every day I choose to respect my body.
Yeah, I like that.
And I feel like if I would have had that advice, even if it wouldn't have made as big of a difference as me reading it now in my 30s, but if I would have at least had a little bit of that advice of like, being more body neutral, respecting my body versus like having to love it or feeling like the shame around it, that I would have, I don't know, that would have been really beneficial in a whole. So just not putting so much value in my appearance in high school and, I don't know, finding my own style, finding my own versus like going with the trends or going with like what people around me were doing.
Yeah, I like that. Mine's kind of similar. Obviously, I go back to like what my regret was. I would try to like send that message, but to get somebody else, like I think of myself walking down that, like being in middle school or being a freshman and walking down the senior hallway. And I literally learned very early to walk with my head down. It was like, stay small, don't be seen, don't be heard, just like keep yourself small. You're a small person, keep yourself small. Don't take too much attention, don't draw attention to yourself. And I would literally walk my head down. And so I just want to tell like that young version of me to like chin up, walk in the room, chin up, have a little bit of confidence. And what I'm learning about self-confidence is when you try to attain confidence from a place of self-love, that's not ego and arrogance driven. And I never knew that. I thought being confident meant cocky. And it's so different now. The confidence that I have, it's from a place of like true, genuine self-love. So yeah, what I would love to tell little 13-year-old, 14, 15-year-old Kristie is just to walk with your chin up and to really embrace who you truly are, because I definitely conformed. Like I was more of an introverted person, but I tried to do all the things that like everybody else was doing, which is very common, but I just thought I was weird and different. So that's why I did certain things that even though it didn't feel quite right, but I think probably the number one thing would be chin up.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I love your weird. I love your different. Like that's what I talk about with Macy all the time. Like, yeah, if you want to be weird,
Yeah, you should
be
be. Yeah.
weird. You should be a little weird.
Yeah, when people are like, "Oh, that's so weird," or "You're weird," it's like,
Yes, I am. I am so weird. I am so weird. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I feel like this very much ties into what we were just talking about, or can lead into what we were just talking about, at least what I was talking about. Your most regrettable fashion statement.
So I think I know the one that you're going to say, which I have also, so I'll say a different one. And if you don't say it, then I'll say it after. We were actually talking about it yesterday. The freaking feathers.
Oh, I had no idea where you were going. I was going to say the disappearance of eyebrows.
That's what. So I got some eyebrows. I always had. I had eyebrows big in early 2000s when you weren't supposed to have big eyebrows, and so they were waxed off, and it was not good. Not good. But I knew you were going to say that one. So yes, that would be definitely. But yeah, the feathers in the hair. Like what? That was so dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of coming back a little.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Sorry. You do you, boo.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I don't know. That just stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at old pictures when we were talking about it. But
yeah,
paying to have you put buying
a $10 feather
in our hair, and it doesn't even it looks like a bird feather. It wasn't even like a funky color. It was just one single
that was little, and they just yeah. It wasn't. So I feel like the ones I've seen now are long and thin. Maybe
they're probably just. I don't know.
But
teenagers have way better style than we have.
Oh, for sure, really. For sure. So yeah, I would definitely say eyebrows gone,
So bad.
the orange tan,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the super heavy makeup.
Black eyeliner.
Black eyeliner, heavy makeup.
I have been bringing back black eyeliner, but I do it very differently than like.
Yeah.
It was like black. It was like the pencil black eyeliner, and then like also black eyeshadow.
Yeah, like
and like underneath.
dark.
And it's like, I actually have pretty eyes when they're
Under
not
here,
shoulders.
and then like inside, like there was so much black eyeliner.
Yeah.
So much black
I'm
eyeliner.
sure it's hard to get off too.
Yeah. But we used Vaseline to take our makeup off. Oh my.
I remember like trying to like melt my black eyeliner pencil a little bit, like against like a heater, like to get it because it was like dried, and then it like melted too much, and it was a whole disaster. The things we did.
I got punched. Is what I looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I thought I brought out my green eyes, but it just made me look like an alien. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was not fashionable.
No, not great.
But that is something that I love about like our kids' generation.
Yeah.
They're like they don't wear, and you like wear makeup if you want, but you there's a lot of them just don't.
Like minimalist about
Very
the makeup.
minimal.
I do love that.
I love that. And it's, you know, of course if you want to play with makeup, do it. But I just love that they don't put too much like time and effort into
A value in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
No. Never.
What is this is like, I read this and I was like, oh, what is something you want to experience before your life is over?
Oh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. What is something I want to experience before my life is over? Becoming a published author.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that.
That's like
High up on the list.
bucket list number one.
Yeah.
Being a published author.
I love that. That is something that I want to attain as well. I don't know. I'm kind of like between two things. Like for me, like it's something that I'm working towards every day, but just like this genuine feeling of like living very freely.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like a feeling of freedom. From the time that I was a child, I had panic attacks, anxiety, just high anxiety, a lot of worry. And then through life experience, you know, it kind of validated that anxiety almost, and tense, and just like this feeling of like just living very free and in the moment and embracing life as it comes. But I also have a vision that was put in me as I was a child of me on stage speaking to women.
I love that.
So
I love that.
we'll see.
That Sag moon, baby.
Yeah.
It's
Supposed to
like,
be famous.
let me be free.
It's like I want to be famous but an introvert.
That's that Leo rising, and then that Sag moon, and then you're like, okay, but I'm tired.
Yeah. I just want to like get on stage, speak to women, and then like, but I don't want like people to like recognize me after the fact.
You need to like have a couch
Yeah.
and sit in your jammies with your tea.
Yes.
Talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah. So that those
That's
two.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. What do we got here? Worst advice you've ever been given?
Oh. I feel like no, do I answer that?
Yeah.
I don't know that people have really given me I guess when I think of worst advice that like it has gone, I have a terrible memory. So, but I'm going to just go with the general idea of, I don't know, however, this is going to be bad, but however it started for me, for a lot of women, to compare myself to other women. It's like, I don't know where that started. I don't know how it started. I blame media. I blame social media. But I had such freaking low self-esteem because I was too small. I didn't have boobs. I was not pretty enough. I was not smart enough. And I was constantly in comparison to these other women that I either saw or like a made-up version of a woman in my head. And yeah, I don't know that there's like advice that I can really remember as far as that's worst. but that just comes to mind. It's like that idea that we need to attain a certain body type that is literally impossible to be worthy. And just that idea of comparing ourselves, because it's a waste of freaking time. And when you can find just comfort in yourself is like such a
powerful thing.
It's a powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the best answer. That's all I got.
No, I think that's good. So for me, I think that this has come up in many times with many different things, and it always comes up for me whenever I hear this question in my mind. So as what the worst advice I feel like I've been given or I've heard other people give to other people is make it work. Like this notion of make it work. Like you're in this relationship, it's your job to make it work. If you're in this certain career, if this is what you've chosen, you got to make it work. You know, this friendship, this family, this anything, you make it work. And doing the work is different than making it work. Because you can't actually, in my opinion, you can't actually make something work unless you're like putting something together, putting batteries in it and making it work. You can do the work, you can put in the work, but like you can't actually make something work because you can't control all the parts to it. And so I feel like when we tell people, well, you just got to make it work. You just got to make it work. And it's like, it invalidates the entire experience. It invalidates all of the feelings and the emotions around it. And it can really like cut you at the knees. And so I think if more of that advice came from a place of do the work, then, you know, like in a relationship, when you tell two people, like, you guys just have to make it work. You just have to make it work. And it's like, well, if this person and this person start doing the work, then you can move towards that space. But just like, make it work. Yeah. Figure it out. You know, it's like, it just feels very short-sighted in the big picture for me. And I think that sometimes people can go to college for a career and they get in that career and they realize that they've changed in 10 years.
Like we all have.
And that career no longer works for them. And so it's like being okay to be like, this isn't for me. Or even like these high school kids in sports and stuff, like, you gotta figure it out. You gotta make it work, you know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but like, what if it's not like that they're not trying to make it work? Like, it's just not for them.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I love that.
So I think that that's probably, for me, it always comes up as like the worst advice, because it's like, yeah, you can do the work and yeah, you can like show up for the work. But like, you can't just like, the idea of making things work in your life, like, means that you have control over everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, you really don't. Like, you know, you can't, you can't control it all. And sometimes I think people can really like beat themselves down with that notion in their mind, like, I just got to keep going, I got to keep pushing, and then like everything else gets kind of suppressed.
Yeah, so. Because there's too much emphasis on the outcome.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like on the process. Something that came to mind as you were saying that along those lines is time heals all wounds. Yeah. And for me, what I've learned is like time doesn't heal anything. Healing heals. And so, but what you said made me think of that. So, yeah, I like it. That's very beautiful.
Thank you. Is it my turn or your turn? My turn?
I answered that one first. No, you answered. I answered that one first. I think it's my turn. I don't know. It's your turn.
I think it's my turn. Oh, wait. I don't freaking know. What is something you are most proud of yourself for accomplishing?
Yeah, I answered the last one first. You're going to answer this one.
Okay, I'll answer it first. Honestly, like the first thing that comes to mind, because I think it's like one thing in my life that makes me so very different than who I was 10 years ago. And that is being alcohol free. Oh, I love it. Because like it'll be 3 years in January. And if you would have told the version of me 10 years ago, or even 15, 13 years ago, that would have been a choice and something in my life that would have been a huge catalyst for change, I probably would have laughed in your face and been like, you're insane. And so, and it's not something like when you choose to be alcohol free and without carrying necessarily like a diagnosis or I don't know if you want to say like title, like I don't like to say, I don't like to label anybody's identity with anything, but without being an alcoholic and you just choose it because it's better for your mental, physical, and emotional health. It really is not like absorbed as well.
Yeah.
If you tell somebody like, oh, I'm a recovering alcoholic, I've been sober for almost 3 years, be like, oh man, congratulations. But if you're like, oh, I haven't drank in almost 3 years because, where I was in my life, the things that I wanted to accomplish and where I was going, I chose to become alcohol free. And I've decided to maintain that choice. And it's best, it's what's just best for me in my life. They're like, what? Like, why? Why would you do that? And so, it's just not as like celebrated. And I don't need it to be celebrated because I celebrate it. But it's just kind of like looked at a little sideways.
Yeah. It's so weird that it's not, that it's like such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to me that it's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
And I am not, but in situations where I have chosen to be in a public place with people and I've chosen not to drink because I just don't want to because I want to get up at 6 a.m. and journal. And people, it's automatically like, oh, you're such a bore.
Yeah.
You're so lame. You're so lame. It's like,
when did you get so lame?
Yeah. I mean, and so for you to have experienced that for 3 years and to just like, I know that it has bothered you at times, but to be able to embrace and continue on your journey and being authentic to yourself is something that I truly admire. Yeah. Something that, what was it? What is something you are most proud of yourself for accomplishing? There's a lot, actually. I don't know how to sum it up.
Let me start the list.
No, I am such a different person. My internal world is, when I tell people I'm so different, they're probably like, okay. But like my internal world is so freaking different. Like I had so much hate for myself. The things that I would say to myself were so, so terrible. And that has changed so much that is one of the most things that I'm proud of. But something that I did that was very different, especially in a small town, is leaving my full-time job. A very, very safe job with a lot of benefits and that shiny pension that you're promised if you live to a certain age. I left before I achieved that number of years given to that company, and it was so scary. And there was a time where I didn't think I would be able to leave. It's very scary financially. It's very scary to say, I'm giving up health insurance.
Yeah.
I'm giving up a pension. That's not what you're supposed to do when you're a parent. You're not supposed to be selfish like that. That's kind of the story that I heard. But I was in such agony, so much stress. And it wasn't like I liked the people that I worked with alongside. But the general public that I would encounter and just the job itself, I knew it was so against my sole purpose that it was killing. It felt like it was killing me. And that sounds very dramatic, but I knew if I continued in that path, I would become a very old, bitter woman because I was already becoming very bitter. I started seeing the worst in people. I had, very, very short fuse already, and that job just like ignited that even further. So making that choice, I remember being scared to tell my dad.
Yeah.
And when I did, he was like, that's awesome. I mean, I think everybody probably has to be complaining about my job, but long story short, something like that. I had my daughter when I was 19. From that moment on, every choice I made was what I thought was in best interest of my children. Very selfless, tried to do everything that's best for them. And I felt like making that choice was the first time that I really did make a choice with my purpose, what I wanted to do, which is creating my wellness business. But in turn, it's drastically changed and it's been better for my kids because of who I've become in that process. So that's something that I am incredibly proud of myself for doing because I'm not much of a risk taker. So I'm just not.
Well, and just like witnessing that entire journey has been so inspiring. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like it's a really hard thing to do, and you did it, and you're just like kicking ass and taking names, and
you need a health coach.
Tell me. I think is it your turn? I think, yeah.
Which Friends character would you be?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I feel like I would be different ones at different versions.
I get that. So let's say,
and like at different parts in my day.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like I'm very Rachel. And then other times I'm very Monica. And then sometimes I'm a little bit Phoebe. And then on the crazy days, I'm definitely Joey.
I don't know. Maybe I would be Chandler. I feel like I would be Chandler.
Oh. So yeah. I don't know.
So all of them?
All of them. I'm the entire cast in one person.
Well, that's a baby.
All of those personalities.
Who are you today? Let's go with that. What Friends character would you be today?
Oh, like today, in this day, I was definitely like Rachel. I was crying to her before we started this. Like, when she first comes to Monica, and she's in her wedding dress, and she's like, I don't know.
I love it.
So today I'm a Rachel. Yeah, I'm gonna just, maybe I should just like go work at a coffee shop. That would probably make me so much joy.
You would probably get a lot of tips because like you would just like have conversation with everybody. You'd be on it with coffee.
Yeah.
So or they'd be like, I came here to to sit and quiet.
What is happening? Yeah.
No, I love it. Yeah, I can see myself in most of them. A large part of my life, I was probably a Ross.
Hi guys.
Hi. Or I'm fine.
I'm fine. What are you talking about?
I do resonate with Chandler probably the most because for a long time I was not associated with my feelings. Like there was a huge disconnect, and so I had to like keep that at arm's length away and make like really awkward jokes or like, you know what I mean? Like just like stay away from getting close to somebody, and then my Monica rolled in.
Yeah. A little Monica neurotic.
Yes. And then, probably Phoebe too. Like, I like, she is actually, I love Phoebe. I want to be Phoebe now because she truly beats to her own drum.
Yeah.
And she is who she is, like, no matter what. And you, like, can't ruffle her feathers. She's just going to, like, do her own thing.
You know, I do see the similarities and you sing. It's very
smelly cat.
We don't need to do it we'll scare away our moms.
Our mom. So I'm going to say Phoebe.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. I
like Friends.
I do too. Such a good series. What is your coffee order? Ah, speaking of Friends, I know. Isn't that great? Okay, you go.
Well, I'm not supposed to drink coffee.
I don't.
Mushroom coffee. Black. I love a good black coffee. But if I go to Starbucks and somebody wants to buy me a Starbucks, I like a medium hot caramel macchiato with almond milk.
Yummy. What about when you go to is it Star City?
I ordered a macchiato and it came in 2 Dixie cups. And I was like, what the hell is this?
What is happening?
Apparently Starbucks macchiato is different. And like espresso or whatever. I don't know. I just want like coffee and it tastes good.
That's all I wanted. Okay, so yeah, every morning I'm a black coffee drinker. So typically, if I order coffee, get coffee, when I make coffee in the morning, instead of just drink a black. If I decide to get a fancy coffee, it is usually, I like to go to Java Joe's in Lafayette because it's like a little small business. They make really good coffee. And I get a hot, sugar-free latte of some flavor with almond milk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my order is kind of a nightmare because it's like, I would like a large, sugar-free vanilla latte, hot latte with almond milk. So, yeah, typically it's like strong black coffee.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Love it.
Your turn.
Oh. Okay, this is the one I thought was double, but it's not. How would you describe yourself now to your 10-year-old self?
Oh. Well, I feel like how I would describe myself. So how I would describe myself is how I feel like I want, like, I don't know, like the people in my life now that are young, like teens and like nieces and nephews and that I'm close to, that would look back and describe me. Like, I had this crazy aunt that was like part witch. She had crystals and burning sage all the time and was like doing all this weird shit. But she was so fun and so funny and gave like the best advice when I needed it, and you could always talk to her about anything. But yeah, like that is how I would want them to describe me.
Yeah.
Like as they get older and look back, and so yeah, that's how I would describe myself. Just like that, like cool, like crazy aunt energy, but like with like the good, solid life advice when you need it.
Yeah, I love that. I would tell little Kristie. What would I tell her? That she would become an entrepreneur, that she didn't fit into the lines, she stopped coloring in the lines, and she just embraced who she was, who she is, who she becomes. And as long as she stays true to herself, she will succeed in whatever she chooses to succeed.
Yeah.
She loves deeply, hates deeply, and it's all okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, just stay the course.
Yeah.
Don't get distracted by boys.
Yeah.
Or what people or what society tells you. Just keep doing you. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to be loud.
Yeah.
It's okay to be you.
I love that. Yeah, and I would say, and it's going to be messy. Like, no matter what you do, it's going to be messy, and that's okay. Embrace it. Just let it be messy. You don't have to fix anything. Just embrace it. Be messy. Be messy. Okay. All right. Okay. How and when did you know you were meant to pursue your passion?
Me?
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know how to make this like short and sweet. I started working out as a recommendation from a therapist for my grief. I had gone to her hoping she would medicate me. She could not do that, and so she suggested some lifestyle changes, and I had never heard that. Nobody had ever given me that advice. I booked an appointment with a different doctor hoping they would give me medication, but for whatever reason, I think it was just like something tangible that I could do, and so I hired a fitness trainer online, and I started going to the gym. And very, very, very quickly, I saw a shift in that fog that grief creates and that anxiety creates. And so I just felt a really big shift in my mental state, and I was like, oh, I really love this. And people then started asking me what I was doing in the gym. And so I became a certified personal trainer. That shifted probably after about a year where, that grief and that my mental health wasn't a whole lot better. It had improved a little bit, but it was stagnant. And that's when I kind of uncovered that fitness isn't going to change my heart. Fitness isn't going to heal my soul. Fitness alone isn't going to clear the grief and the fog and the depression and leftover heartache that I have. So that's when I shifted into just going a little bit deeper. It was around COVID. I was very, very lonely in it. I stopped all medication very suddenly without any consultation to my doctor, and I do not advise to do that. It was very dangerous to do that. So shifting into my own journey of nourishing my mind, body, and soul. And so that kind of created what I now teach women. And my daughter actually asked me this the other day, like, how did you get into health? Why did you get into health? And looking back, I remember like probably 10-year-old me or younger, like I had a little diary and I would write Dear Diary, and I never knew what I wanted to do. And people would be like, do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be a, dental hygienist? They were never asking me if I want to be a doctor or a dentist, by the way. And I remember I just would say, I just want to help people.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I just want to help people. And I also remember like praying that my parents would be happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember praying that. And so my mission statement is literally helping women live healthier, happier, and fuller lives. And I remember that clicked the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that prayer that I used to pray for my parents. And now I'm helping women with it. So it's just a very authentic journey, and I feel like that's the shortest that I could make it.
No, I love that. I went on a healing journey of my own. I had my birth chart like 6 months into that healing journey. I had my birth chart read by an astrologer that I absolutely adore. He's an incredible, incredible human that I'm grateful to know every single day. It was the first time I had truly felt seen for who I really was. And it just lit something inside of me that was like, I want to give this service to other people so that they can feel seen and heard in this way. And it's just grown and grown and grown from there.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So this has been so fun and so great answering these questions. And obviously we've been able to go into some pretty in-depth stuff. We are actually going to save our last 8 questions for a part 2 episode that will be released the 3rd week in October, the 3rd Friday in October. I don't know what that date is off the top of my head. But yeah.
No, I loved this. This is so much fun. If you guys like this episode, send us a couple questions. We can add it into part 2. But we're really trying to keep our episodes under an hour. We just thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, send us a DM. We love to hear from you guys, and we will be back for part 2.
Yay!
Yeah.